It's your boy King Haas in the building. We live, another episode. Back to doing Late Night New York, WHCR 90.3 FM. Y'all already know what it is. The audio's going to be out probably next couple of days, in a few days or whatever, but the visual's going to be on YouTube in the next couple of days. We work hard, pause, and we work fast. Y'all know what time it is. Right now, we're going to take it to Queens.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Dzyn.
Southside?
You could. It's very close to Southside. Jamaica. You could just say Jamaica. I'm from Farmers Boulevard.
Copy.
It's all it's all right near each other, but we like split each other up and all that, like to do the independent thing.
Definitely.
I'm right there near Southside, like by Rochdale.
So we just gonna say Jamaica.
Just say Jamaica. Yeah, just say Jamaica.
Copy. You know what I mean? We coming from Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
My man King Dzyn in the building, man. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here, man. You know, I see you doing your thing, so I definitely wanted to tap in. I see that you having good conversations here.
Yeah, definitely.
Foundational conversations, entertaining conversations as well.
Definitely.
It's a good mix. It's a good blend here that I like, and I felt the need to tap into. So
no doubt, man. And
we're here to deliver.
You got multiple platforms as well. You do, you do the podcasting.
Right. Yes.
People just forget you're not just an artist. You're a podcaster.
Right.
You're an audio engineer.
Right.
You're a jack of all trades, and we're gonna go ahead and tap into every, all
those
those variations or whatever, man. But first and foremost, man, it's a lot going on in the world right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you as an artist, right? When you see the current state of the world, the current events, do you just go ahead and block out everything that's going on and just stay in your own world and your own lane and just focus on that? Or do you incorporate everything that's going on, the controversy and all that?
I take. I have my moments of just of tuning everything out, but I'm one of those that likes to pay attention to everything because I like to. Part of me likes to study everything. Even the things that we look at as disgusting. I try to understand it on some level. The things that we look at like they're terrible, they're horrible. I like to make sure I take a look at those things too as well. It's a whole picture that I like to see. So that's why I deal with a lot of yin yang mindset. You know what I mean? I like to take a look at both things going on. So I don't ignore what's going on in the world at all.
Copy.
I don't pay attention to everything all day like I'm a newscaster or something. But
I understand.
I take time to dig into these things in the world.
I was asking because some artists tap in a whole lot. Other artists just when they in their creative zones, they tend to go ahead and just hold on. I'm in my world right now. I'm not even worrying about what's going on over here. Let me just focus on my immediate surroundings.
Yeah, I think that puts you in a box. You know what I mean? That puts you in a box. If you do that,
I agree.
I had a time like that, where I was just focused on just the neighborhood or just my surroundings, just my couple of people. And that's good in a sense because it's like, it's like this protection layer. Like I'm just in this place. I don't got to worry about nothing that's going on out there and everything like that. But it also keeps you limited. You know what I mean? It's kind of like saying sky's the limit, but let me just stay here. Let me just stay on this one building. Let me just stay in this one area. Let me just stay at this height. Let me not go past this height because it's discomfort past this height. I don't really like that mindset. Once I realized I was thinking like that, I instantly was like, yeah, it's time to change.
So is it one particular event that went ahead and said, okay, let me go ahead and change my mindset and let me just change the paradigm, so to speak? Or it was just, you just woke up and it's like, yo, you just want to do something different?
Since I have the messages to prove, I feel like I was already going through a shift prior to COVID, but I definitely think COVID is the reason that it immersed the way it did because I was already having these type of conversations where I was saying, I don't like what I've been dealing with. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like being stuck in the same rut. I don't like the way I'm making money. It's not that I don't like the people I'm hanging around. I just don't like the way that we're interacting with life anymore.
The energy.
And I was having these conversations like 2017, 16, talking to people, telling my friends like, yo, let's start working out. Yo, let's start reading more. Let's start. And I was always reading a little bit, but I wanted to do more. I wanted more knowledge. It was something I wanted to yearn for. I wanted to yearn for better health. I wanted more spiritual understanding of what's going on because I just saw the cycle that we were living in, and I was like, I'm done with this. I'm just tired of this. But once COVID hit, I think we really had the time to sit our ass down and really let it really get immersed by all of this information because we were all on the internet. And we all were by ourselves. We didn't have time to interact with people as much. So we had all this time to think. Because when you have a quiet mind, you're gonna come up with more ideas. You're gonna get spiritual intuition when you by yourself. So
I understand.
We on the internet more, but at the same time we by ourselves. We're not around all these people. We're not around all this noise.
Time
we had all the time to actually
study,
realize,
enhance yourself.
What we wanted to start doing with ourselves. Because I'm sure a lot of people would feel what I'm saying, where they start to have these these desires that they wanted started to come more during COVID, but that's because you had time to yourself to think.
A lot of people started their businesses during COVID.
Of course.
So,
a lot of businesses that you would, and the thing is that it brought up it revved up the creativity because you had to create something out of nothing at that time. So it was like it was a win for I think outside of the horrible nature behind it and the kids being isolated and stuff like that, I felt like it was a win. Outside of, like I said, the negative side of it, I'm looking at the positive side of this. It was a win for people to have a quiet mind for a moment because especially people in these cities, we don't have time to ourselves to think.
Nah.
We get 10 minutes to ourselves. We go to bed, we go to work. We around people all day. We around girls all day. We partying all the time. We on the block with people all the time. We don't have time to actually sit there and think, what am I doing?
Facts.
So you
living in the matrix. You living in the
you in the system.
You in the system or whatever. So you doing same routine.
Like a robot.
And then when that hit, you had no choice but to sit back and reflect and think, okay, what am I doing? How am I moving? What can I do to improve? What can I do to better myself?
Right.
You see, what I mean? Because when you're not distracted, you got the time to see all your flaws.
Exactly.
And nobody, you can't, when you on the run or whatever, you can't, like you might know something, but you're not going to take the time to reflect because you don't have the time to reflect or whatever. So COVID did that for a lot of people. So now, like, as you being an artist, right? When you are creating and now you're going through this shift of your mindset, right?
For sure.
How's the creativity? Because like you probably used to talking about a certain type of conversations in your rhymes, and then now it's like your mindset changed. It's like, okay, do I still rhyme for these same people, or do I go ahead and expand my horizons and just
right? Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, it's definitely been like a metamorphosis for me when it comes down to just in general, just music. And just in real life too as well, and it came to a point where
I walk that balance. Yeah,
it came to a point where I'm still learning. I'm currently going to what we call integration right now. That's connecting my lower self with my higher self. I'm currently going through that right now. So when people see me, they probably be like, "What is he doing? What's going on? What is he trying to?" I'm going through integration, y'all. That basically means all of the parts of myself that I wouldn't expose. I'm utilizing those parts of myself, but they're under the guise of discipline. So I'm still just being myself because I don't have time for the fake act. I'm not about to sit there and act with y'all and act like my whole life is high vibrations. Act like my whole life is all about all this positivity. My life has been negative too. But I just know how to take this negativity and alchemize it. So I'm showing people how to do it, as well as showcasing how to be relatable, because I don't want to turn into this, I seem like I'm
the preacher.
Perfect, or I definitely don't want to be a preacher because I don't like church. I don't deal with church. No disrespect to people's religions and stuff like that, but I don't really take to church and stuff like that. I think all religions are sacred, but I just don't deal with the separation of how church and stuff like that separates us. So I want people to feel like they could be themselves, but just let their discipline guide them. Like, yeah, still have your fun, be who you are, talk how you talk, but just learn how to tell yourself, okay, I'm doing something this is way off. Let me sit back, because we're not going to be perfect. So
no, you're not. You know what I mean? We wasn't designed to be perfect.
Right. So as far as the creativity, what I've been doing now is I decided that I'm gonna have fun with my music, and if I was to compare myself to anybody musically to make this conversation to where it's relatable, I would say I'm getting to the point where I'll probably sound a little something like, I don't sound like Nas, but creatively it's getting to a space where it's kind of like Nas, where you could expect me to get on a record and it still sound like it's swag. It still sound like I'm having fun, because I still am having fun. I'm still having a good time. But at the same time, you could expect to hear a record like you could expect to hear a record like I Know I Am. I Know I Can at any second. You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what record. You could expect either or from me right now. That's the reality.
Your creativity is expanded.
Right, and I'm not putting myself in a box. I don't want to fake it like fake it like I'm acting to be perfect just because I grew spiritually, I'm enlightened now, or I'm going through a gauge of enlightened. I'm becoming enlightened day by day. I don't want to, make it seem like personify like, oh, this perfect act. Like, oh, I only eat this now. I only do this now. I'm perfect now. I don't do that. I'm not a sinner. You can't even relate to me. I'm better than you now. So now I can't even have a conversation. Who am I helping?
Nobody.
Exactly. I ain't helping nobody. All I'm doing is helping my ego at that point.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are doing that. All they doing is cleaned it up, and now it's just a different way.
I'm glad you touched on that, man, because you got certain people. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say no names. We not in the bashing, but
no, of course not.
It's just you have certain people who go ahead and I call them false prophets that carry themselves a certain way, and it's some truth in their message. But at the same time, it's the sense of the arrogance, like, that hey, I'm better than you. You gotta lift up to my level type of energy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But behind the scenes, they doing the same crooked, stuff that they've been doing. They moving funny. They just know how to disguise it better under the act of activism.
That's the whole point of what I'm doing. That's the whole point of why I'm openly saying I'm doing integration, because I don't have nowhere to hide when I do that. Mm-hmm. So now when you see me doing some fuckery, if you catch me doing some fuckery, which probably not,
we gonna clean that
but
up.
if you do catch me doing something that you think I'm doing, I already told you I indulge in certain things. Mm-hmm. So now we don't have to have this. We don't have to make it seem like I'm acting those type of ways. So now the authenticity can shine.
You being yourself.
People can be proud to be themselves. Mm-hmm. This doesn't mean run around doing fuckery all day. This doesn't mean this isn't a scapegoat. This is just saying let's use authenticity more often, so that way we can be honest with each other and we can have these conversations about our bad habits, our negativity, so that way we can get somewhere. Everybody's hiding who they are, suppressing their dark parts, suppressing themselves, and now we can't have no real conversations. So what are we solving? We're not healing and solving anything, hiding stuff all day long. Yeah, some things are to be kept to yourself. Some things are supposed to be sacred, but a lot of the stuff that we hide is the reasons why we sick, because we're not talking about our issues.
How you feel? Because we're gonna get into mental health.
Okay.
In a second. But right now, how you feel about the current state of hip hop?
The current state of hip hop is just a reflection of our upbringings. So I feel like the current state of hip hop needs to happen. That's the whole point of integration. So all the music that's happening, all the people that are making music that is foul music and stuff like that, and they making this music was like, damn, he said that in his rap. All that stuff needs to be out, because people need to be. We need to reach the pinnacle of I've expressed this shit. I've got it out, so that way we can go to the next stage. So all that crazy music, all that freaky music these girls is making, it needs to go out. So we need to purge it out. There's only one way you purge things out, is by talking about it, making music about it, releasing it, therapy sessions, trauma sessions, whatever it is. So this is all it is. It's a big therapy session right now. The world is going through it, making this music. Now that's how I look at it. Other people might look at it like, yo, this person is just being belligerent. I don't look at it like that. I look at it, this person is trying to release something, and that's just the only way they know how to release it. I'm not suggesting you do it that way, but if that's the way you're going to do it, then we can have an actual conversation. I'm not going to dehumanize you. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. That's a different mindset. I like that.
So, but this conversation will give people an opportunity to say, okay, now let me start working on different sounds though now. So now I got that out. I'm not gonna make music about shaking my ass for 20 years. Let me start making a different sound as I grow up. Let me start doing a different sound. Let me make love songs now. Let me do this now, because you got that shit out now. You got this shit. Besides hiding it, that's why I'm not against this stuff. I hear some people saying, yo, don't do this, don't do that, man. It's the levels to how I want to go about being enlightened. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not into the perfection thing at all. So,
I respect that. I definitely respect that. I feel like everything you said, you were 100% on point with it. I feel like in hip hop, it's a good and bad thing, because it's kind of like in other cultures. I mean, in other genres. There's kind of like the older and the young actually come together and actually work with each other, so to speak. Okay. But then, like, in our genre, it seems like always this separation at times between the older artists and the younger artists, or what have you.
To me, I'm not going to change it from the music, but that's just because that's what is going on in real life. You know what I mean? The older dudes, yo, the YNs, yo, man, yo, bro, we your sons. Well, I'm not a YN. I'm middle aged at this point. I'm not middle aged, but I'm like right there where 10 years ago I was a YN, right? I don't even like to. I wouldn't like to stigmatize the YN thing, but that's what we That's what we say because it's what we identify with. You know what I'm saying? So, we disown each other. You know what I'm saying? We disown each other and then expect to be able to have resolution. Well, we first got to accept the fact that, you know, the older heads is the reason why the YNs is the way they are.
Facts.
You know what I mean? They did things the way they did things the way in a certain way.
I am who you made me.
Right. They did things in a certain way that create a certain trauma response. Everything you see not everything, but all the behavior that you see is a trauma response. And some people just put it on and make it look good. They put it on like a coat. But it's a trauma response. So we need to have that conversation if we want to solve the music issue. You know what I mean? Why y'all making music like this has to do with the treatment from down, all the way coming down. From how we treat each other, our peers, from parents not being there, all those things, from, you know what I'm saying, from having a wild uncle, whatever it is, all that stuff trickles down. But you can never blame the kid. You know? You can never blame the kid.
I'm just doing what you taught me.
That's like a worker blaming that's like a boss blaming the worker. You're the boss, bro.
Facts.
Fire me. You going, oh, my worker didn't do that. You can't tell somebody your worker didn't do something. You supposed to be having your managers.
Clearly you wasn't handling your business.
Your managers are supposed to be managing these things before things get out of hand and ruin your business. Because guess what? They don't care about your business. They just working. Most likely they don't care about your business the way you care about your business. That's your baby. That might be how they make their money, but they could go get another job.
Facts.
You can't just get up and make another business. You know what I mean? So
how you feel about, okay, like, you have a hip hop is, you know, is the only genre that has genres within genres. So It's like whatever type of hip hop music you into, you could just create or whatever. So if you into ratchet music, it's a lane for that. If you into Christian rap, it's a lane for that. If you a quote unquote backpack rapper, it's a lane for that. What would you call it? A Bay Area rapper or whatever, you know what I mean? The hyphy sounds.
They got the hip hop, literally.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's like literally 20 lanes within one genre or what have you, right? So that's to me, that's what stands out for me for hip hop compared to other genres or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. We literally have a whole bunch of genres within that one genre. So whatever you do, there's a lane to do it or whatever. Like right now or whatever, you go upstate New York or whatever, you know what I mean? Benny the Butcher, 38 Special or whatever, you know what I mean? Once you go past the Tappan Zee Bridge, what they listen to is different than what we listening to down here or whatever.
Right.
The old and young or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm switching from your rapper mind to your producer mind, right? So when you get into that mode, are you going off of what you hearing, what's going on in the radio, going on in the street, or you just going ahead and you just being creative and whatever inspires you in the moment, that's what you going ahead and putting together?
Well, I think it's a mixture of both, due to the fact that, you know, I've gotten, as an engineer, you know, of course, I've gotten some records on the radio, records played on the radio, High 97 and stuff like that. Rest in peace, Cake Slay. He actually played something, one of the artists I recorded and stuff like that. And I like to make sure I get the sound there to where it can, you know, it's acceptable for the radio and stuff like that. But as far as the concepts and stuff like that, it's going to be all about the experience. It's going to be all about what's going on around me, you know, what I'm thinking about, what I'm concerned with, you know, and stuff like that, what I'm inspired by and stuff like that. But I do want to make sure the sound can, you know, be industry ready. So that's how I combine both of those. So that way I'm not just ignoring the fact that, you know, you do want to reach a certain level of quality, you know, especially if you're talking about your sound constantly playing on the radio or something like that. You being an engineer that people can trust, or being a producer or somebody just to collaborate at all that they could trust to make sure that your sound, you got the people around you that can make that sound happen. You know what I'm saying? A professional sound. So yeah.
What's your mindset when you produce it compared to when you're mixing and mastering?
Well, I know I do. No, I only do mixing and mastering, but so the mindset for mixing and mastering, Because that's what I really do. The producing, I don't really do the producing. I've got to the point where I'm about to start mixing beats, but I haven't got to the point where I produce the beat. I've tried to produce the production, but the production just hasn't really gone well for me. It's not something I want to tap into. I don't want to wear too much hats.
So your things are strictly engineering.
Yeah, I literally just do vocal production. I literally do vocal production. When I do the vocal production, like I said, I try to make sure like I just try to make sure I get the best sound out of their voice. I'm gonna let them do their thing and they can guide me, but I'm gonna do the best to give to really produce behind their voice. And I want to try something different for them and give them a signature sound. I don't want to make them sound like anybody else. I want to give them their own template. I don't want to just throw a compressor on them and just say, okay, this is just a sound and everybody has the same
standard,
sound.
Everything. Yeah.
That's why a lot of people like to record me, because they know every time they record me, they getting their own signature sound in some type of way. I might put some flanger on your voice. I might put stuff on your voice that everybody's not taking the time to put on your voice. You know, I might take your lows out and take your lows and treat your mids and your lows a different type of way with distortion and all type of stuff. So I really go with the flow as far as the artist. I really just get into their world and just say, what can I do to make this artist sound the best they can sound? So I really I get immersed with that, and so it's interesting to collaborate with me, because like I said, because I make music on my own, so I care for the music when I record it.
So like when you mix and master your own, is it harder for you to mix and master your own vocals?
No, not really, not really, because I'm so used to my voice, so it's just like I know I know if I hear a beat, I already know how my voice is gonna sound on it. At this point, it's like second nature to me. But I'm to the point where I do want to let somebody else do the mastering for me, just because I want to, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to let somebody else master it technically. So I want to give it a try to see what happens. Yeah, I don't think you should be doing everything for yourself as an artist either. You know, I know a lot of people like to wear multiple hats. I don't feel like people should be wearing more than 3 hats, honestly. It's just ridiculous. We have all these people out here, all these creatives out here, and I'm going to wear 5, 6, 7 hats. It should be everybody should be wearing 3 hats. Everybody should be wearing 3 hats, max.
How did the collab, the Jadakiss video?
You said
with the video with you, Squeaky, and Jadakiss. How did that come about?
So basically, I knew Jadakiss was going to be in the spot and everything like that, and I'm a very innovative type of person and everything like that. I knew he was going to be there. She told me he was going to be there and everything like that, and I had some music that was going to be played that night and everything like that, and yeah, that was it. I was just gonna play that night. We were at a smoke sesh.
Copy.
It was a big smoke sesh. It had to be at least probably like 200 plus people in there and everything like that. And Jadakiss just was coming through because he used to love the smoke sessions at that time. I don't know if he's still dealing with them. Yeah, it was definitely lit. It was a vibe in there, man. The smoke was sticking there. You couldn't even breathe in there. If you wasn't smoking, you couldn't come inside. But so we was gonna go to the session and everything like that. So I knew Jadakiss was gonna be there. So I was like, yo. I had these records lined up that I was gonna play with. I'm like, nah, I want to catch Jadakiss' attention. Honestly, I don't want to just come in there with a record. I know my record's gonna be fire, but I literally want to catch Jadakiss' attention. I want him to hear what I'm talking about. So I decided to make a freestyle to Hands Up. So I made the freestyle to Hands Up, and me and Squeaky got on it. And then my intention was just for him to hear the song. So that's all I really wanted to do. But when we got there, the energy was so high, and I already played my first record where everybody was vibing out. And we had our brand, our clothing brand, Eminence, that I was brand ambassador for at the time. We had put Biggie's face on it, so we met up with Biggie's family. They was there and everything like that. So I had a shirt to give him.
Tiana was there that
night,
right?
Tiana was there, you know what I'm saying? And I had a shirt to give her and a shirt to give him, because I was trying to collaborate, put everything together. I like putting things together. So basically it was like a Queens, Brooklyn / Yonkers thing, basically, in long story short. So when I put the freestyle together, and then when I got there, my pops was there, and then Squeaky was like, "Yo, why don't we just shoot a video right now while the song is playing?" And I'm like, I just wanted him to hear the song. I didn't know we was gonna shoot a video, but I'm like, "Yo, yeah, I'm ready. Well, let's do it." So she talked to him before the song played, like, "Yo, Jay, your song about to play. We want to catch a little freestyle video with you. Nothing crazy, just one shot deal. Just for the culture.
Copy.
Just for the culture." And he was like, "All right, cool, and hear it." He was hearing it for the first time when we did it.
Copy.
He was hearing it for the first time we did it. He didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was just a spirit of the moment thing, man. Shout out to Jada for showing that love, man. Shout out to Jada for showing that love. Definitely, we never forgot that.
Yeah, that was smart.
Yeah, we never forgot that, man. You know, he appreciated the bars because it was a shout out to him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? There was respect to the culture at the same time. So it was a real culture. It was a real culture vibe. I had a great night that night. Squeaky had a great time. Everybody loved the music. And I felt like I just personally made history for ourselves that night. You know, I'll never forget that night.
Describe the feeling when you go ahead and you hear a record, right, that you went ahead and mixed and mastered, and you hear it playing on the radio. What's the feeling? What's the energy like?
That feeling, it happened to me only a few times, but that feeling for me was like it made me feel like adequate. It made me feel like, yo, I know what I'm doing. I know how to get this thing done. It just made me feel like I'm good at what I do. You know, it made me feel like, you know how people tell you, yo, you good, man, you good at this, but you don't really believe them. And you kind of like still trying to fight you're still trying to earn some type of respect or earn like that, the things, that the accolades that they're giving you, you're still trying to earn them, even though people are telling you, you just don't believe them. I feel like that was a moment where I was like, I am a good engineer. I can do this. And I can do more than this. But this is a good stepping stone for me. You know, for somebody that's just recorded, didn't go to school for it, didn't, you know, go to any big record label or anything like that. Just did it just on my own, just in my little studio. It feels good. It felt great.
Dope. So now you've been doing this for a lot of years. You fast forward to 2025. Half the year that went by, right? So we got another half a year to go, or well, in European terms.
Well, yeah.
So, what's the goal for the rest of 2025?
The goal for the rest of 2025 right now is just to continue getting out of my comfort zone, continue expanding, continue like I said, integrating right now, because I don't want to seem like I'm forcing myself, and just literally just go where spirit leads me. Just open myself up to where spirit is trying to take me, and just put this work in, man. And not be too hard on myself, because none of this shit really matters. You know what I mean? For real. None of this shit really matters. I ain't saying go do nothing crazy, bro, but none of this shit really matters. Just be positive as best you can. You know, when things is tough, talk to your people and just do what you can, man. Do what you think is good. Do what you think is right. Try something different, and that's what I do. I've been doing a whole bunch of different stuff. I started swimming. I started going for 5K runs.
Dope.
You know, I started doing all type of different stuff I wasn't doing before. And that's because I know that the more I try new things, the more I feel alive. You know what I mean? The more I don't do the same thing I did yesterday, the more I feel alive. The more I got a different song, different music I can make, because I'm having different experiences.
I understand.
You know what I mean? But if I was doing the same shit, I would be rapping about the same shit.
So now, before you go, you leave the people with some positive reinforcements that they could take and carry with them the rest of the summer.
What are some positive reinforcements people could take with them for the rest of the summer?
For the rest of the year, period.
For the rest of the year. So I say for the rest of your lifetime, honestly. I mean, how I see it right now is just take it slow. You know what I mean? Take it slow. Don't let this world rush you with the construct ideas and the societal expectations. You got to be here by this age. You got to have this to be successful. You got to have this. Create your own paradigm. Create your own understanding of what you truly want. Take time to yourself to do those things. And it's definitely time for people to try different things like meditation and stuff like that when you're going through things besides your usual habits, our drinking habits and our stuff like that. Try some meditation. Try to go in nature for once. Try to put your phone away for a second. Clear your mind and see what God is trying to tell you to do. And get around people, get around some better people, because a lot of the reasons why we stressed out and we sick and stuff like that has nothing to do with what we eat, and it has all to do with who we are around. And we all know some good people to get around, but we ignore them. Let's get around them good people, embrace them. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself and take time with yourself. Like I said, don't let the society rush you into anything. I know we always in survival mode, but practice deep breathing, and it does temporarily take you out of survival mode. That's the best way I can really say right now off the top.
So let the people know if they want your services, how they could hit you or what have you. And, you know what I mean, tell them, you know, the podcast page where they can check out the podcast, the music,
Yeah, for
everything.
sure. So y'all could I'm gonna make it simple. You know, my Instagram is King Dzyn. I'm making music, writing. We engineering. I have an engineering page for that, but you could just follow me at King Dzyn, and we could always talk, network, and build. And also I have a podcast right now called What Can Make It Better. We discuss things with different spiritual leaders, as well as getting in the community with activists and stuff like that in the community, and just helping out in different ways in the community. I'm not gonna break down too many details about that, but that page is Creative Collection NYC. On Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Follow that page if you want to see. We've talked to some big dogs in the spiritual league, honestly, and we've put in work with some big dogs in the spiritual league. So, you know, go check that out. And that's really it, man. You know, that's really it. Just tap in. And like I said, stay integrated, man. For all the people out there that wanna let their higher self come out, start letting your higher self come out, because now you're seeing somebody practice integration. Because a lot of people are scared to let their higher self out because it makes people look at you a certain way and stuff like that. We all have a higher self. All y'all doing is suppressing it more. It's time to start working on letting it out. And it's not something you do in one day. Like I said, I'm literally going through integration process. This is a day-by-day thing. It's not an act, y'all. So, that's all I got to say.
On that note, you know, if you want to find out more information spiritually, you know, y'all tap in with the podcast. They always put out new episodes. I think they just put out a new episode today, if I recall. Right?
Yeah, we did. We put out.
It popped up on my joint today.
We put out an episode with Kateria Knowles. She's an astrology specialist, and she helps people with astrology on a deep level. She goes into your sign, your moon sign. She goes in depth with it, and she's even helped people become successful with her practices. So it's not just no in your mind thing. People like to think about this spiritual stuff is always just in your mind, and you just reading and you just think you sound smart. Nah, there's some people out here that can change your life if you use their practices, if they fit you. There's different people out here.
So if y'all want to, you know, tap in more with that, y'all know, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, give them the Instagram page one more time, give them the YouTube page.
Yeah, the Instagram page is Creative Collection NYC, and my Instagram page is King Dzyn. That's King DZYN. And that's it right there. Those are the two Instagrams right there. I don't want to give y'all too much stuff at once. Just take those two things and we could build from there. And I check out saying that. Peace, y'all.
Y'all know what it is, man.
And appreciate y'all for having me.
Episode Late Night New York, WHCR 90.3 FM. Shout out to the whole team up there, City College. And my apologies for not plugging in the station at the 15-minute mark. Please don't kill me. I'll get better at it next time. Man, we appreciate you pulling up, dropping that knowledge. Any new projects that you got coming up soon or whatever, you know what I mean? We'll have you back here, whatever, promote all the new music.
I got a project out right now called Imperfect. Out right now, and
y'all go download that.
Check that out. It's on all platforms right now. That's Dzyn Imperfect. It's on all platforms, and it's something you could vibe to right now. It's part of my integration, so it's something you could vibe to. It ain't really no high vibrational talk yet because I'm telling my story in chronological order. So that's just vibe music right there.
It's dope music. So on that note, man, y'all go ahead. Y'all tap in with everything. Y'all tapped in with Late Night New York, WHCR. It's your boy King Haas, King Dzyn. Y'all know what it is. Y'all. We out. Yeah.